My God, Rachel, stop doing this burning love thing you're doing.
And the proof of this theory that this is what people are going to watch over anything, go to any other sporting event. If a fight breaks out in the stands, you're going to turn your head.
That's it.
Yeah.
If you go to a fight and people start playing catch, you're like, stop it.
Right. Welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. My name is Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
Ahoy, matey.
Half producer of the podcast is over there behind my glasses.
Good to
We're
be
here.
here.
We're here.
Yeah, we've mustered up the courage to do this again. A lot of tears tonight, but before we get there, any public service announcements?
I don't know. I think we're going to make a bigger announcement in the coming weeks. I think I'll save that for the coming weeks.
Great. Let's get to general thoughts. What do you guys think of the episode, generally speaking?
Nick, you want to go first? There's a helicopter chasing a guy. Got him all the way here from Panorama City. I guess he stole a truck. It's been going on for about an hour and a half.
It's false advertising, Panorama City, because you would think that
there's a panoramic view.
Yeah, you would think
it's a shithole in the middle of the valley.
Beautiful, yeah. No, just a lot of rebar and drywall.
I often lament.
Trash.
And that's just on the street. Yeah.
I often lament Dylan being judge, jury, and executioner for people, but I hope that person who's running from the cops runs into a pole and dies, because this is going to not make our recording
easy at all.
Easy at all. I can't think of my general thoughts at all.
Yeah.
Live and die in L.A. Well, this is...
Well, I was going to point out while you're gathering your thoughts, Nick, that one of the fun things about living in the city of Los Angeles, most people live in a metropolitan city where the local news coverage covers car chases. So you can actually have a helicopter hovering above your house so you can hear it like it's Vietnam War.
I mean, this is going to be unlistenable if they're chasing this criminal the entire time.
Well, Dylan, that's why I'm going to my local affiliate, KTLA. I'm going to see exactly where this character is.
You know what I would rather do than talk about Rachel crying? If we could just do a podcast covering this chase for the next 45 minutes and just kind of follow the ebbs and flows. I don't think Way will mind. I don't think BetterHelp will mind. But we can't do that. We have to talk about the Bachelorettes with a Z or with an S. Nick, are you ready for general thoughts? I mean, it's so loud.
It is so loud.
I feel like every time I start to talk, it takes a swing by the house comedically.
Yeah.
Generally, what did happen in this episode?
Pat, you want to go?
Yeah,
so
go,
you can jog.
Sure. Okay.
Generals.
So with this episode, it truly is it's two episodes of Bachelorette packed into one, because we have three groups of people now on this show. We have Team Gabby, we have Team Rage, and apparently we have a team that is quote unquote here for the right reasons, and we'll go on that journey.
What are you talking about? What does that mean?
Oh, you were just asking my general thoughts.
No. But specifically, the thing you just said, what are you talking about?
Oh, I'm laying it out. Well, what I was going to say is this would actually, so you're getting a double dose here of what you supposedly like. But now I'm getting two things that I don't want at all. You see what I'm saying? I'm getting two journeys for love as opposed to just one. I got Rachel's journey. I got Gabby's journey. I barely wanted one of these things to watch.
Right.
I think the confusion, and I was hoping, I didn't understand because of my inability to concentrate because of the loud helicopter noise. I think what he's confused about is the team here for the right reasons aspect of it. What does that mean?
It's not a team. That doesn't...
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So
that team isn't in opposition.
You see, but... No clarification's going to be... it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I can't even hear my own thoughts in my head. I have a helicopter hovering above our studio.
Yeah.
I hope they get that.
I don't
guy.
understand fleeing because, I don't understand these people that are confident in getting away with crime. I feel like I would be... Even if I shoplifted, I feel like there would be some type of minority report technology that doesn't even exist that would catch me.
Right. Well, I always say the best way to escape these criminals, they're so dumb. You need tree coverage. All right, what you do is you drive up into the Hollywood Hills. The helicopters can't track you anymore. You ditch the truck or whatever you stole, and you hop in the woods and just run for fucking darkness.
Yeah. Or if you're on a freeway, you just throw smoke bombs behind you, and then they can't even see.
Well, that's Spy Hunter. That's a game. That's a video game.
See where you are because the smokes.
Once again, you guys are valuing with my opinion. I agree with Pat. That is the correct way to go. But ultimately, I believe we cannot escape Big Brother, and they will find us.
They will find us.
But I believe the criminals aren't really trying to get away. Oftentimes, they're self-saboteurs, and they've chosen this life because they feel trapped and helpless and want to get caught so they can at least have a warm place to see with someone watching over them. This episode was pretty good.
My general thoughts.
Yeah, sorry.
And I'm going to open up announce my candidacy for running for LA mayor, and I'm going to have one issue that I have a stance on, and that's eliminating this bullshit.
I think you should do the zombies.
No, that's my second issue if I need it, but I think this is good. What I'm going to do is we waste billboards around this city quite a bit.
What are you doing right now?
Well, you got to listen. You got to be involved. You got to hear what
No, I know, but you stopped him from going to general.
Oh, because we're still talking about this douchebag that's running the city.
We'll talk about The Bachelor at some point. I feel like possibly maybe.
Here's my first issue that I'm going to tackle. Okay, we got a bunch of billboards in Los Angeles. People drive by them hundreds of thousands, maybe millions a day. I'm going to see someone. I'm going to have a picture of someone stealing a truck. Right. Okay. The third picture is going to be that person driving it on the freeway, and we all know what that does to the city.
Wonder what the second
third picture is going to be the person with a German Shepherd biting his head off.
Okay. How many fucking pots do you give the episode?
It wasn't that good too.
Okay.
We're gonna beg people to have us stop watching and talking about The Bachelor.
Yeah, Nick.
I like that we have two different journeys going on. It allows a little bit more ping pong, which usually. The long, drawn-out scenes are what puts me to sleep with this show. So I was stimulated, although off like having a bunch of sugar. It was an unhealthy high, and nothing happened. I want this to be over so badly. 20 roses.
Well, yeah, we're gonna make that announcement in a couple of weeks.
I don't know any of these guys' names. I know Tino.
You know Meatball.
Meatball. Yeah.
I know Meatball. I know Tino.
You know the bass player for Prince.
I don't know
player for Prince, but I know Rambo. I don't know.
Rambo's a canine.
I don't know too many of these guys' names. And tonight I actually got a lot of enjoyment tonight because we've reached new lows. The show is now on a cruise ship. It is where its destiny to die is. I mean, it's just speeding off a fucking cliff, this show. And I was confused, like, did they just book out this entire cruise ship? Because that would be pimp kind of shit.
What's it? Disney Cruise Line?
No, it's just they just have rooms on a cruise ship. That's where the show is now. And also the Rambo stuff, so hilariously sad. And before you color me a monster, we'll talk about it. I mean, it got funny to a point. And also Rachel's tears, while exhausting, are also pretty funny. I actually, and I love France too. 70 pots.
It's high.
I watched this show in such a fashion that it's just a box I have to check that I didn't even think about the logistics of the cruise liner. That would be pimp if they rented out the whole thing.
They didn't, though.
Obviously impossible. It's a dying show. They don't have a budget for that.
Yeah, it's so expensive to do that.
Instead, they're with the rest of the cruise ship going gremlins that go in the casino and play the slots.
Yep.
I can't wait for the stories of Meatball fucking one of those ladies.
Yeah, well, they're not going to do that.
You don't think they'll be sneaking out? Even when they had someone down the hall, they were sneaking out and sucking face.
That's true. It's happened before. But like I said, we've mustered up the strength to do this again. Last we left off, Meatball had thrown his Hail Mary. And in a wonderful moment of producing from ABC, he's just back in the room. He does deliver an expositional line. I'm really grateful. Rachel gave me a second chance to be here. But I would say to ABC, you don't have to do that. Nobody's watching this closely. Just have him there. He doesn't need to say anything. You could have a mini horse in the room and people would be like, this show is so... What is going on?
Did you know that, I agree, no one cares about these continuity errors in Stranger Things. They retroactively took some mistake out of the old seasons because it didn't jive, and internet sleuths figured it out. But who gives a shit? Don't change the art.
Yeah,
right.
don't change the
Don't
art.
be George Lucas.
It's going to happen
makes
more
it
and more.
worse.
They called it the George Lucasification.
They did, huh?
What is that? Making Hayden
Just
Christensen Darth Vader and stuff like that?
No, it was Han Solo killed Gordo in a bar scene. He shot him, an unarmed man. Alien. Alien was unarmed, and Han Solo just put 2 laser beams through his
the guy
heart.
was fucking with him. They were trying to negotiate.
Yeah, but he wasn't armed. He was an unarmed alien.
Well, Gordo was threatening him.
I understood, but come on, you got to have some.
But
goof.
so what was the change?
Well, he had it so that Gordo actually pulled a gun on him first. They added that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you never, kill an unarmed alien.
I didn't know that was the whole.
They also cut out of Indiana Jones. There's a guy who does this whole whip thing in front of him, and because he doesn't have a lot of time to waste, Indiana Jones just puts a bullet through him.
Just shoots him. They cut that out
They
too.
cut
That's
that
one
out
of the
too.
best scenes of the whole
It's
franchise.
really funny. I found it hilarious.
So
as a
Hayden
6-year-old.
is in the hot seat. He committed the sin of saying that Gabby was rough around the edges. He claims that Gabby used that phrase, which in a weird way kind of makes it worse. But regardless, it's not that bad a thing to say. He's a huge douchebag and delivered it a little douchey, but not that terrible to say. And one of the worst parts about this show is the communal outrage from the guys who 3 weeks ago were sending women DMs asking if they missed their dick. They're all so abhorred by this, but he does ratchet up the misogyny right after that.
When Meatball was, because obviously they mentioned that comment rough around the edges, and then Meatball apparently heard him call both the Bachelorettes bitches.
Yeah, well, he did say like, what is it? What did he say? My ex-girlfriend's got bigger tits than these bitches.
Yeah,
or
they're
something
way hotter
like
than
that?
these two.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a real delight.
It's there's always 1 or 2 of these guys a season where you're like, there are cameras on you always. Why are you doing this?
He's making moves.
Grosser Joe.
What moves to become grossest Joe? He's hated by everyone.
Well,
Hayden.
Yeah, he's hated by everyone. What is this move?
Well, he'll be in paradise, I'm sure.
That is an interesting take, that if it was true that Gabby referred to herself as rough around the edges, that may be even worse, because that's the thing that she fears most about herself.
Right.
It's like when Ross was making pros and cons about Rachel and, was it Emily or Julie?
Julie.
It was Julie, and he put fat ankles about Rachel, and Rachel's like, that's the thing I hate about myself the worst. She was extremely hurt by it. So it's the same thing as that.
They call him
Cankles.
Cankles.
Too. So moving on, let's get to Palmer coming in. Very confusing production once again. We're going to Paris, but trademark dumb idea. Let's differentiate between the travel of the guys that get the one-on-one and the guys that don't. They'll go separately an hour before the rest of the guys. Now, we'll soon find out why that decision was made. And honestly, it's even worse than just a random dumb idea from production. It is the final evolution in the shittiness of the show. They're going on a cruise ship.
Well, also, Mr. 5 o'clock Shadow with Budweiser seltzer on his breath. He's a new guy on the show. He can't push back as a host to production and say, this doesn't make any sense, that what I'm about to say in front of these guys.
You gave a lot of context clues that it was Jesse Palmer, Mr. 5 o'clock Shadow. When you said that, I wasn't sure. Right? Then you said Bud Light seltzer on his breath, and I was like, I think he's talking about Palmer. Mm-hmm. And then you said host, and I really got that you were talking about Palmer, but man, I was a little confused at the top of that.
I went in the exact same journey, only after he said seltzer-covered breath, I was still thinking it was the one guy that ratted on Hayden about calling them bitches.
Yeah.
I like to refer to that guy as Jonathan Galecki.
And if you guys are wondering as an audience what Dick and Dylan are doing right now, they're being mean.
No, I'm not.
No.
No. All I'm saying is this man looks like Jonathan Galecki from Roseanne, and then later that Nerd Show.
Yeah, the Nerd Show. So we're
going to a place where they eat lots of croissants.
Yes, we're going to Paris. The cobblestone is romantic. And at a cafe, we break down the rejection that Rachel faced at the last rose ceremony. She is in a spiral. She is now wondering if the guys like her at all, and whether or not the guys she picked feel like they're in the loser group. And my gut reaction was, please stop. Just shut up. But then I was thinking, well, I kind of see where she's coming from, because I too feel like her group is kind of the loser group. Yeah,
it definitely is.
Yeah. I think
really hit on something.
Please,
losers.
Please, fellas, let me know if I'm going to the sitcom well one too many times. But this is just like the mind games that James Spader played in The Office when he separated The Office into two different lists and he left the list out. He didn't say what the lists meant. He just let them fester and fight. But it became pretty clear which side was the loser group.
Yeah.
But it's the exact same thing we have going on right now.
The tough thing is, and this may be contentious, but I think often...
No one watched the James Spader season.
Well, so I want to say I often think that bringing up sitcoms at all is one too many times. But that's because I'm not a fan of sitcoms because my heart's small and dark. But if you're going to bring it up a second time and you're going to cite The Office, I mean, to do a James Spader season is just... It's wild.
Michael never made a list.
It's true though. That is exactly what's going on. So it's apt and I would say it's necessary. But let's get to Ralph. Jesse greets the guys and gets to say the 3 sentences of French he has been tirelessly trying to memorize. I was just like, I went on this whole little mental path of him just being so stressed out about this and his wife calling to check in and them talking about, you know, why he took the job.
But the man's a professional in the montage. She encouraged him, and then he went back to work after he hung up the phone, and he eventually nailed it. The 3-step drop of French phrases.
He did nail it. I mean, his accent is pretty fantastic, regardless of whether it took him 48 hours straight to get it down. We have to break down why the guys have flown in separately. We've covered it, like we said. We couldn't. Marble Mouth. I was going to say, like I said, I didn't think that this show could get any more trashy, but they reveal for the last couple episodes that this show will take place on the 100,000-ton Petri dish known as the Valiant Lady.
I was going to say one little funny part here. You know, I'm a detailed motherfucker. You know, the bass player for Prince, he hit it out of the fucking park when they said they were going to France. He had noted that there's lots of people that eat croissants there. Well, he came in with a fucking haymaker of a thought when he mentioned to all of America that being on this cruise ship up until this point, the biggest thing he'd been on was a kayak.
Yeah, and someone said... When they get on the boat, somebody goes, this is like not even a cruise ship. It's more like a yacht.
You idiot.
Well, and also, like, production, what are you doing to that guy? Why do you need to...
I know.
Why do you need to put that dumb thing that guy said in? I guess it's funny for us, though. I want to try to navigate to a clip here because we get to the one-on-one dates and we continue with some incredible chemistry between Gabby and this mute named Jason.
It took me until 3/4 through the episode that I realized this wasn't the guy that was in that fake-ass movie premiere. I was like, wow, getting another one-on-one, some mute. He's really crushing it being the strong silent type, but alas, different people.
Rachel's picks are, I mean, it's Tino or go home. You know, it's Tino or bust. But when I joke about them having chemistry, you know, in the post-credit scene, it looked like they were having a good time. But I mean, this guy is just a dud.
So are we going to break down both dates? Are we at Rach and Tino now?
Let's take, and this is, you know, much too much build up for this, but let's take a little listen to their chemistry.
Actually, but not Paris.
Oh. The last time we went, I was with all my girlfriends, and we have a picture in front of the Eiffel Tower. There's like 8 of us with matching Paris shirts.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. It's not going well.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous of duds. Like I can't. I have to be fucking dancing or saying something. Otherwise, I don't go.
There is. Did you see episode 2 of The Rehearsal?
Yes.
This evangelical woman goes on this date with this morbidly obese man, and he's modeled and he has strange like emphysemic type stuff going on with his face and head. I mean, he's just an ogre of a human being, and she's talking and he's just not saying anything, and it's like, you cannot be this hideous and have nothing to contribute to the person you're on a date with. Luckily, this guy's handsome, but still, dud.
And I'm wondering when that guy's saying nothing in that episode of The Rehearsal, another pretty loose reference, but I'm with it. When he's saying nothing, is he panicking and like, what do I say? Or is he just like,
well,
I think he's just awesome. Bored and tight.
He's probably all those things, but Gabby did mention the reason she picked
Jason. It was
Jason,
such a loose reference.
She picked him because he's shy and a man of few words. Amazing attributes for a future partner.
Yeah, I mean, some people like the quiet types, you know?
It has to be brought up, though. Nathan Fielder is a genius.
He's a genius.
I want to say this, though. Tino, he's no prize either. He's like energyless. When we get to their date, I want to say he told her that she's everything he's ever wanted, and he did it this way. She's everything I've ever wanted. Okay. We gotta put a little energy behind that, Tino.
Yeah. We
Those are big thoughts.
His lack of energy, though, comes from him being a looker. Jason doesn't have his leeway, I feel like.
Tino is pretty hot. He's got a Voldemort on the back of the head of that professor kind of look to him, but sexier. It kind of makes sense. He's got a great jawline.
He's the back of Tyler Cameron's head.
Yeah, he's the back of Tyler Cameron's head, 100%. So let's talk about making crepes with Tino and Rachel. They chomp down on something savory looking and are asked to come inside. Now, I know I've talked about this before, my first job at a yogurt shop that also served crepes. I couldn't get the wrist dexterity down. I was fired almost instantaneously. They did not want to pay me for a week's worth of training, and my mother walked down the block and made them cut me a check for $317. But I knew that they weren't going to nail this crepe the first time. And you know what was so almost reassuring but also so insulting, they didn't even give it a college try. They dipped strawberries and then broke health code violations by just making out in this poor man's truck.
Yeah.
It was just awful.
I bet he regrets inviting two complete strangers into his kitchen.
Yeah, ugly, attractive Americans.
It's mere weeks after COVID, we finally are out in public, and they're making out over the chocolates. It's disgusting.
It's absolutely disgusting.
It probably caused monkeypox.
Yeah. Yep, 100%. So we had to... where are we at right now?
Well,
there's just a ton of
they bounce back and forth between the gals' dates.
We're at the night dates, but before we get to the night dates, let's talk a little bit about BetterHelp. Hey, what's the most important thing to take care of in your body, guys?
Go ahead, Nick. What do you think it is?
Your heart?
Bigger than that, dude. Yourself.
Or should I say connected to that?
Yeah.
Your highest chakras, your heart and your mind. And you know what you can make your mind good with?
Your gut.
BetterHelp.
A lot of people are talking about gut health.
Yeah, but the gut health is important too, but also BetterHelp.
Oh, all right.
Talk about trying to find a therapist really quickly.
Oh,
Pat.
sure. Well, actually, I had an uncomfortable moment. I used to go to this therapist over on Balboa. Would you guess it was 20 years ago? It was $200 for an hour. Anyway, that's one bad part about going to see a therapist in person. The second part was I was in the hallway one time. I ran into somebody I know, and they asked me what I was doing there.
Yeah.
It was uncomfortable. I don't want to say I'm broken as a person inside, and I need to go behind this other door and talk to a complete stranger about everything that I think is wrong about me.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Right. Well, that doesn't have to happen with BetterHelp, okay? BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat-only therapy sessions, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Our listeners will get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/ABP. Again, that is BetterHelp, HELP.com/ABP. Take care of yourself with BetterHelp. Before we get back to the show, I think we should do a little chat about a wonderful anti-procrastination elixir known as Magic Mind. Nick?
I often procrastinate. It's a lifelong battle I have. I think it is being on the spectrum of ADHD, but don't go run to Big Pharma, who lied to us for the last couple of years and tried to keep us indoors. No, go get natural solutions like Magic Mind, a once daily elixir, the anti-procrastination drink, 12 natural ingredients, ashwagandha, echinacea, matcha-based drink, 30 milligrams of caffeine to give you a nice zen hum rather than me having, 3-4 Celsiuses and 1,200 milligrams of caffeine a day, making my heart palpitate, not being able to go to sleep, and then waking up earlier than I want. No, take this once daily elixir, add it to your routine.
Yeah, don't take that. Take Magic Mind.
Hey, personal testimony just happened this week. I'm trying to get a swimming pool in the backyard, for the kid and all. I get this bid back from this contractor. He says $58,000. I said $58,000.
Hey, idiot! Why do you have to do that? What? God damn it!
I think the fact that he didn't. I don't think the offensive accent he did was trying to represent that same.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
So his weird mishmash makes it
just like.
Hey, all right, but the real problem with this character is he came in so high. I said, "How can we get it lower?" He says, The electrical costs $20,000 alone. I said, fine, I'll do the electrical. I didn't know anything about electrical. Like the Matrix when Keanu Reeves learned how to fly a helicopter by just, scrolling through some notes. Bam! 10 minutes, drank my Magic Mind, knew how to do the electrical. I called him back. He said, fine, $38,000 out the door. Damn, that pool's coming in next week. Thank you, Magic Mind.
Do you have the same question I have?
Did he get my dig, Joe?
No, I he didn't hear it certainly, but I'm sure if we repeated
you were talking, I talked over.
He would get it. But if Magic Mind, or I should say, knowing that Magic Mind is much like the skill downloading of the Matrix, Aikido, flying helicopters, why don't you just build the fucking pool yourself, dude? Why do you have to pay him any money at all? All right, let's get back to The Bachelor. What's the code actually though in the URL, Nick?
MagicMind.co. Use promo code ROSE for 20% off. That's magicmind.co. Use promo code ROSE for 20% off.
All right, so we head to the cathedral to talk about Rachel's insecurities with the process. We talk about Rachel's profession and how certain people are scared that she's going to cheat on them. And then we get to this really bizarre tension relief that they both want to have families. It's this weird, like, Hitler and Ava kind of thing where they're hesitant to say that they do in fact want to copy their DNA, and that they thought the other person was going to be like, what, are you out of your mind? They thought it was going to be a deal breaker.
It was a weird it was a weird notion that anybody would be taken aback by that. Of course, that's what you all want. You're on The Bachelorette.
Oh my God, I'm so relieved. I thought you were going to say...
Well, I mind a little something different from this conversation in one of Rachel's admissions. Rachel drops this fucking bomb that her boyfriend wasn't supportive of her career, and that's why it didn't work out. And that's when this Tino character said, whoa, do you mind shutting the fuck up? This is where I talk about something bad that happened to me.
Okay.
And then he said, kidding, my life was pretty great. Dad made us sandwiches. I'm not a broken person.
No trauma from teens, actually.
No, it's refreshing.
But I did respect how he was like, "Hey, this isn't the way it goes.
Yeah,
I still have the floor." Once it was like a, I can't think of the words. That's because I don't want to gloss over the venue of this date.
Oh yes, the cathedral.
It's
a cathedral.
Disgusted me. What a place to film this disrespectful act. This
display,
this pox on the
romance,
the sacrament of marriage,
right?
And I for once I don't blame Mickey Mouse and his greed. It's the church that was like, oh, 50 grand, okay,
right?
Yeah,
right.
let's fucking.
Oh, I bet they got it for free.
Yeah, it's prosperity gospel. It's not good. It's just not good. And you don't expect that kind of stuff from European Catholics.
You think they got the church for free?
I don't think the church can charge. You can't rent that out. It's not like a yogurt shop to do a comedy or a sitcom.
What are you talking about,
you
Pat?
Absolutely can, and you absolutely did. And the
Who
church
gets
was
the money?
The church.
The church.
Have you not seen the golden floors of the Vatican? It
all
goes
do you
up.
think that the church is immune from greed?
They've perfected it.
Holy fuck.
And this is from someone who grew up Catholic.
The church can't charge you. What are you talking about?
But the bachelor was like, no, fine, not 50 grand. We'll give you 70 grand. And the church was like, wait, how much is that untaxed? 70 grand. Okay, we'll take it.
Yeah, that's 100% what happened.
How much is that taxed?
But yes, you're right. Pox on this. So let's get to Jason and Gabby after Tino gets the rose, obviously. Yeah. So Gabby and the Mute sit down. She looks incredible in this white satin. Dare I say, old Hollywood. He attempts to unload his trauma onto Gabby because Mickey is threatening his family's lives. And he says something about tennis, and it makes as close to no sense as possible. He said that, like, he played high school tennis and was, like not good, and that just, like, informed a lot of his story. I shouldn't have tried to explain.
Well, go ahead, Dick.
The coach just didn't understand my attack the net style.
Yeah.
He wanted to sit back and volley, and that's not why I play. I was alternating between 1 and 2 singles all season and couldn't find the rhythm. It was his fault.
No, this guy is like he's like a poor man's David Foster Wallace. You know, if you're gonna do it, get ahead. Never mind.
Let me say this. Okay,
Yeah.
This guy we were like trying to figure out, hey, what's good about this guy? He's kind of a dud. He doesn't seem that interesting, and he's not that good looking, right?
Right.
He's cunning. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Well, first off, he starts out, he drops a little note here that's kind of a little hypocritical. He says he notes he's a very private person. And I'd say, sir, you do not get to have it both ways. You're on a television show, so shut the fuck up. Second thing, he does something brilliant here, which is he talks about not feeling good enough and not believing in himself. And, of course, the fixer in Gabby eats this up with a shovel. And that's why she's going to be his pick. Gabby loves a fixer-upper.
I think that's a wild, wild thing to say.
Broken people
early.
are attracted to one another.
Let's call her Joanna Gaines.
Why?
She loves a fixer-upper.
Oh gosh. Oof. Great joke.
Jesus.
All right, so what do you mean? What's with the Jesus?
It took a lot to break down.
Oh, got it. Okay, I thought you were besmirching Joanna.
Oh, no, I hate her guts.
Patrick, Joanna's so lovely.
Did you know that Monster has a magazine like Oprah called Magnolia? And guess who's on the cover every week?
Vanilla Ice.
No.
I'm mixing up your story.
Yeah.
Pat covered Chip and Joanna Gaines in depth on PMZ, our $10 property at Patreon.com.
And how they
Another podcast
screwed my favorite show on the DIY network when they took it over and stamped Magnolia Network on it. The Vanilla Ice Project, I think they sell entire seasons for $4.99 on Hulu. You want to burn a Saturday with a big smile on your face? Go drop that $4.99.
They got rid of Vanilla Ice's show and Pat had a meltdown.
I was pissed.
You got him tonight, dude. So, the Mute ends by saying that through therapy, he's learned to speak up. What are you talking about? You're
it's
a
empowered
mute.
him. He said it's empowered him.
So Gabby tries to make him comfortable by matching his trauma, and I love that they bond over therapy, but it made me a little concerned about, should she be on TV right now? It seems like she's really, really broken up about this thing with her mother, but it could also be that they're just like share trauma, and that's what she's got. But it's just weird that she has brought up this thing about her mom on both of her dates. It's very heavy and very sad.
It's very heavy, but possibly it needs to come out. It's a little too much, more mystery, less history or whatever.
Yeah.
But I will say this. This is another plug for PMZ. This week, we're dropping an episode where I cover celebrity parents that left their kids nothing because they despise their own children and vice versa. It's more common than you'd think, Dylan. So Gabby's not alone in this situation of despising her mother, who, as she said, and I quote, never had the tools for love.
Mm-hmm. It was a pretty great segment. You will have to check it out. And one time he, instead of bequeathed, he accidentally said bequeathed.
Yeah, he spent 5 minutes while I'm talking. I was wondering why his eyes were going back and forth, and he just couldn't help himself.
I just didn't know if I had to alert the audience that we know that he said bequeathed.
It's not bequeathed.
I understand.
Yeah.
I don't know how to talk.
Gabby is crying after this. She gives him the rose, and she, through tears, says that she wonders whether or not she would ever find a love like this. This show ruins people's lives. It ruins people's mental sanity. It ruins people's well-being, and it's just it's not as destructive as Housewives, because if you're on Housewives, you have like a 9% chance of going to prison for, at least a while.
Oh, yeah, at least 1 out of 5 of them.
But The Bachelor just shreds these people to pieces. It's just like, Gabby is a quirky, fun, it seems to be like a wonky kind of intelligent, and now she's on this show talking about how she didn't think she was going to find love, like the mute. It's like Stockholm syndrome.
Well, what's worse, Dylan, is
he was really champing.
It's just the definition of a deal with the devil, except the devil is reincarnate in Mickey Mouse, and you get short term, all the things you were looking for, your Instagram followers or whatever, but it's just not worth it. It's like the pageant industry for adults.
Well, you know what? Interesting to glom onto your point, Nick. I follow all the people from our first season of The Bachelor.
I was motivated like that too back then.
You've seen their Instagram followings. They're hawking Papa John's pizza and all that stuff, and now you just see the dramatic fall off. It's all gone. It's no more. It doesn't exist anymore. You were on TV 5 years ago, and it means nothing.
So funny to think of like Dante,
Iggy.
Like Dante Satan, like frozen in a block of ice, but it's Mickey, and he's just flapping his ears. All right.
One last note before we move on.
Yeah.
All right. So what Gabby's doing here, I don't advise with a new partner, which is bonding over trauma and it being a common glue for a connection. It's fine for a little while, but it should not be the only connection point. Gabby, we need to see more out of both of you.
Oh, I was thinking, like, have you seen A Marriage Story?
Yes.
The dwelling if these two get together, the dwelling will have exhausted walls from all the fucking therapy and shit they talk.
This is Oscar Isaac we're talking about in The Redheaded Girl, right?
No. It's the Adam Scott and Scarlett Joe. What's that?
Those were the first two things that I understood. I was like, are these movies, books, TV shows?
What is that movie where they just scream at each other and cry?
Oh, well,
The Breakup?
Yes, the break.
The one I'm talking about. Wow, who's the redhead that was in Zero Dark 30?
Jessica Chastain.
Her and Oscar Isaac do this. It starts out with a therapy session.
I watched one episode. The ending was so sad. I was like, nope, can't do it. Why would anybody watch this?
It's too depressing.
It's so depressing.
Yeah.
Was Blue Valentine about a fight?
Blue Valentine was, yes, about like a shaky couple, too, as an intense love
and
story.
And a drunk.
Scored by Grizzly Bear. It's a great movie. So, moving on to the rest of this show. It's time to fucking throw hands, guys. We got to get to the next day. But before we do, the guys are back on the cruise, just hanging, and a date card gets dropped. Pat, hit us with a roll call.
All right. So, the date card arrives, and the bass player for Prince is going to get it. Kurt gets it. Quincy, he doesn't have a fucking shot. You know what? I don't have any funny names for these guys. Aaron, Michael, Mario, Spencer, Johnny. I know it's a dereliction of duty, but I don't know who these people are.
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
You wouldn't even know who I was talking about.
It is going to be our last season, so you should
ramp
up.
Yeah.
You should ramp up to a big roll call because it's going to be one of the last ones. Oh, well, it won't be one of the last ones because
we're just going to make you pay for it.
We're going to move it behind the paywall.
That's our big announcement.
And you will. Well, our big announcement is what's going to be for free, but this you will pay for.
Yeah.
You will pay for it.
After this season.
Yeah,
this is all, this gold that we're laying down, this is at no cost to you.
Right. GOLD. So let's talk about Sabat. I wanted to just throw this to you because I'm unfamiliar with this martial art. I really only know a lot about Hapkido. Your power plus my
Krav
power
Maga?
equals just... Tell us about Sabat.
I got to be honest, all I really know about it is like Sabat Shalom.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise unfamiliar.
One of the foundational stances in Sabat. It lets your opponent know that you mean business. But anyways, it is a brutal workout. We begin with burpees and kind of ab flutter kicks. It seemed like quite an intense thing to start the date off with, but little twist, not only are Rachel's guys there, but also a bunch of fucking people who filled their names out earlier in the day who were just walking past the breakfast buffet. There's
and
a little
sign. Hit the lottery.
Yes, they hit the lottery. Nate and Eric step up. Nate delivers a surprisingly beautiful speech and that's not a microaggression. It's because of the clip we played last week wherein he said, "I think the favorite part is everything." You know, this guy is, I mean.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Hey, Dylan, one side note. Sorry. Because it's going to come in later and set up the scene. Did you note that also the other team of guys will be able to observe the other guys fighting?
Yes.
So all the guys are there. We have the Dockhouse guys and we have the Social Club guys. They've named their little fraternities. I don't know if you caught that.
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Dockhouse guys and the Social Club guys.
Mm-hmm.
I also missed that.
Wow.
The losers and the cool ones.
Yes, exactly.
The losers and the less losers.
So, this is one of the best moments of any season. It's when you see over-aggressive, quote-unquote, alpha males trying to hurt each other for a person who, at best, will be, quote-unquote, engaged to them for 6 months. But it's all marred. It's all overshadowed by Rachel and her insecurities. She is, like I said, in a spiral, breaking down in tears, wondering why no one is looking at her. And we have this kind of grenade explosion type of sound effect to the proceedings to add to this narrative that she's heartbroken for no reason. And I would just say to Rachel, Rach, you don't know any of them, and these guys are about to beat the fuck out of each other.
Yeah, who wants to watch a fight?
I don't want to look at you. I
doesn't?
want to watch these guys beat the shit out of each other. She's like, Tino's just jumping up and down. He's not even looking at me. He's pumped.
He's pumped.
He's excited.
These guys don't even have their fucking smartphones to be able to Googling
Right.
something.
Yes.
This is the most exciting thing they'll see today.
Yeah.
We're just so all on the same page, and we are the voice of Bachelor Nation.
Yeah.
As I brought in a post from the Facebook group Bachelor Nation.
Yeah.
The most middle of the road Bachelor Facebook group there is. It's
Yeah.
the largest, most general. People are just like, I like the Bachelor. I'm 60 and I join.
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
just have
yeah.
usually vanilla takes and not. I don't know. Some of them are more polarizing. These are down the road. But this woman, Kimberly Ku'ulealoha, Claire's Howard, said, Rachel needs to understand that if there are men fighting other men in a boxing ring, that is going to be the most interesting thing in the room to them.
Yes.
Crying about why no one is pursuing her during
This
sporting
spectacle
event
of combat
is naive. And honestly, Dylan said it 1,000 times better than Kimberly.
But we're all on the same page here, Kimberly. I mean, my God, Rachel, stop doing this burning love thing you're doing.
And the proof of this theory that this is what people are going to watch over anything, go to any other sporting event. If a fight breaks out in the stands, you're going to turn your head.
That's it.
Yeah.
If you go to a fight and people start playing catch, you're like, stop it.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
Why is that plastic ball hitting my head? There's a fucking game on right now.
All right. So at one point, Ugly Logan says, I'm really thinking about switching teams here. Shut up, Ugly Logan. So Spencer, in the flurry of heartbreak, gets the rose and talks about his service to Gabby. He has zero chance. Let's get to more Rachel breaking down. So finally she goes in and she actually says something. And the guys go from not understanding a single fucking word she's saying to kind of getting it. And she has a point, but also, like we mentioned, the fellow competitors are beating the fuck out of each other. This is not the right time, you know. What's going on here, Pat?
Well, that fucking criminal is still driving around my neighborhood. They haven't nailed him yet. They got to throw down those.
Oh, Vince Scully died.
You know he's dead.
Yeah, was that yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, what was he, 104?
It was time to go. And I like all the memorials. Like, too soon. No, it's not too soon. It's probably a lot longer than it. He
what a
should have
guy.
been.
Just loved what he did.
The craziest thing is he's calling tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear that jag he did about communism right in the middle of a...
Yeah, it was, he was like, and,
people are running out of food in Venezuela. Yeah. Another communist regime.
Where did he go?
Do you know the richest person in Venezuela is? Well, what is this? Chavez's daughter. Oh, it's 0-2. Like right back in.
Hi inside from the Venezuelan. You know, speaking of Venezuela, it's not going well there right now. Thanks,
They
Vin.
eat dogs.
All right, so Flora and Boris are the next day. Can we move on to Flora and
let's
Boris?
Let's just get to the next day.
So they are supposed to be romance experts, but they're a little yucky, the two of them, and they do not kiss well.
You say they're supposed to be romance experts. They're supposed to be chasing Rocky and Bullard.
Yeah. They're getting away. What was it? What was it in Pokemon? Who are the Rocket? Who's the Flora and Boris of Pokemon? The Rocket team?
I don't know their names, so I did watch that cartoon sometime and get epilepsy.
Okay, so they set up this date is going to be a gauntlet on how to flirt, and Zach steps up first. I mean, we thought he was Jason. He's not Jason. He's Zach, and he also sucks.
Oh, she hates him. He does that grab her from behind. It's so palpable.
This is the guy that, I mean, there's no charisma. This is a man who should have had a lift, a little hydraulic kind of bump from that lovely evening they shared in that movie theater where they watched old childhood films. He is no Peter Krause. There's nothing here with this guy. He's a leader in the clubhouse, and he goes up and rear naked chokes her like a fucking freak. I mean, my God, man, have some confidence. You're sure-footed.
He completely fumbled the bag. She completely has the ick now. You guys know the ick?
Is that where a girl can't shake off how gross she thinks a guy is?
Yeah. The girls call it the ick.
Yeah.
Like,
Natasha has it for Dave. Check out Below Deck.
Yeah. Did I say that?
No.
I had it in my notes and I forgot to say it last week, so I got the ick in right now.
Yeah, it's the ick.
She's got the ick from this guy. He reminds me of the guy who got kicked off for touching Claire's neck in the hot tub.
Oh, yeah.
This is the eerily similar moment.
Yeah. It was, that was a fun season. Yeah, it was when they were sequestered at the Ramada or whatever the fuck it was called. La Quinta. It's 107 every day. All right, so I think we've got to get to. Oh no! We get a funny moment from Ethan. Then we make out with our hands. We smell each other's armpits. Meatball smells like shit. What a hilarious goof! And then we write love letters, which make her feel really special. You guys, if there's any, fun deets you want to cover, the one guy, Tyler, steps up, almost breaks down in tears. Well, he doesn't know who this person is. It was weird.
Yeah, well, he also makes a weird admission. He said he bought his ex a house or something, but it didn't work out.
Why is that a weird admission?
I don't know. Why are you bringing that up, talking about your ex?
Well,
more mystery, less history.
I know, but the Tommy gun, that little mouse has, they have to share the pain, and that is painful. Dumping equity, you see your future, it's, it's tough.
Well, he also says something really stupid before we move on. Tyler says, and I quote, he doesn't know anyone that could love as hard as her.
Yeah, I mean...
They make out, so I guess it worked.
Right. It's just crazy that these people say these things. All the while this is going on, though, Ugly Logan once again talks about how he's just not feeling that spark. Well, your head's fucking misshapen, and you're fucking... You don't have a good body compared to these guys. So, shut up.
Yeah, just be happy to be there. And I really liked how you called him Ugly Logan. Great nickname. Because I was going to go with Dan Band. He looks like the guy from fucking Dan Band.
I fucking need you now tonight.
Look it up if you don't know.
It's the exact same fucking haircut. Yeah. So,
but Ugly Logan might be better.
Okay, so we've covered the one-on-one with Tyler. He's handsome and he's got a good heart, but he is only going to fall deeper in love with Rachel and have his heart ripped out when she picks Tino. Tyler is unafraid of love, but he's also unafraid of not being the breadwinner. Rachel's cool with that. She's going to fly everywhere. She's not going to cheat on him, and he's going to be at home baking fresh baked bread and taking care of the little chilies, okay? And that might work out. But again, she wants Tino.
Hey, I had a thought here, because I'm going to do a roll call, I guess, in like 5 minutes or something, hopefully less than that. We're wrapping this up.
Yeah. We've got to talk about Way, though.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. That's going to be fun. That's the guy with the dead dog.
No. No. That's the hair care sponsor.
Oh, I love that product.
Yeah.
That's not a dead dog.
No, it's a hair care company.
That's the most beloved item in my bathroom. Right. Is what that is. Yeah. That's definitely not a dead dog.
Should we just talk about it now?
Let's do it.
All right. So, guys, Way is an unbelievable company. We've talked about it many times. The sud quality of their products is special. A lot of shampoos, a lot of body washes are thin.
Sudless, even.
Sudless almost. Way combines powerful suds, powerful stuff, and powerful scents into all these beautiful bottles. You guys take it away for a little.
Well, I want to say this about Way and just what it means to other people when they know that you're washing yourself with this
first
stuff.
off, can you spell it for us?
What?
Can you spell it for us?
Sure.
OUAI.
There you go.
That's right.
Sorry.
Hey, why'd you step on me, Nick?
Sorry.
I know, you just had it. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, so I used to go to people's houses and I'd be in their bathroom. I'd be rifling through their medicine cabinet looking for pills.
Yeah.
Every once in a while I'd look over and I'd see what cologne they had.
No, this is fine. We're not going to have to do a make good. It's fine. Yeah. Talk about how you were sifting through people's stuff to find drugs. Now, Pat, keep going.
So I know now if I go into someone's bathroom and I see some Way products there, I know they got class.
Right.
100%.
Guys, we've talked about what we love.
I thought he was going off the rails, but he really brought it home.
He really brought it home. He came around that corner so hot. We've talked about what we love about Way, but let's talk about the products we love. We love the clarifying detox shampoo. It deeply cleanses and strengthens your hair while removing product buildup. I put a Pwawi in my head almost every day. You need stuff that's really going to strip that out of your hair. Your hair's not supposed to have mousse in it all the time. We also love the leave-in conditioner and the scalp serum. If you're having dry hair, having thin hair, these things can help. Find your way. Get a customized hair routine when you take their quiz at theway.com and use promo code Bachelor to get 15% off your purchase. That's 15% off your entire order at theouai.com use code Bachelor. Let's get back to the proceeding.
My thought, I was mentioning before we went for that advertisement, was the reason I don't know the guys' names and horrible roll calls that I've been laying down this season is because there are 2 bachelorettes. Therefore, by dividing the guys, there's very little one-on-one time to get to know these people. And yes, I'm not trying to make an excuse for my hacky homework that I've done on this show.
There's a structural kind of magnetizing of the time away from the guys. So we have 2 bachelorettes. One's having a breakdown, so we've got to spend quite a bit of time on her. And she's been having a breakdown for about 2 episodes now. Also, there are no characters, and the casting is bad. The guys are boring. There's no one
sticking out.
There's nothing to really sink your teeth into. And we're fierce advocates against cannibalism. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that there are no characters. I mean, we've got Ugly Logan, though, who sits down and chats with Palmer. Once again.
Is that where they were elbowing each other? He's like, hey, I want to fuck that girl.
What?
Yeah, he was like, Nick, did he not say that?
He essentially said that. He said, I want to bang.
So
he wanted to bang. He wanted to bang Gabby.
Sits down with Palmer, and I just don't know why he thinks that he can do this.
Well, they're buddies,
Him and Palms.
Yeah.
Just sucking down Celsius.
Yeah, there was a scene, I think they edited it out, but Palmer pulled a Celsius just like Joey used to do when he pulled it out of those recliner chairs. And he pulled it out. He cracked when he said, here you go, dude. I'd hit it too, Yeah. They cut that out, though.
I love the pandering to me for some reason. Yeah, Joey Rivers, I'm back in.
Yeah.
Tell me
Chandler, yeah, he handed him a beer.
Good. Good.
They did have recliners.
So,
and he had a cooler between them.
They were good buds.
All right, let's get to the cocktail ceremony. Nate talks to her, talks to Gabby, but let's get to the leisure executive grocer, Joe. This proud boy pulls out a fucking bound booklet of pictures of his golden retriever, whose head is caving in from a brain tumor. This, like I mentioned, is fucking hilarious. Not anything that's happening to this animal. But that the story is so unbelievably sad. I often quote or cite Christopher Guest. This reminded me of something that was cut from Best in Show. Like, it was from the visceral thing that's happening to the dog to the cancer duck to having the foot taken off and kept in his pocket to the fact that his name is Rambo. I mean, it's so fucking, it's sketch.
To the fact that he is showing her pictures when he's thousands of miles away.
Yes.
He left the dog that has no time left.
Yeah.
And he stole its comfort toy.
Yeah.
Fuck this guy.
This guy is so awful. He reminds me of so many good old frat boys who are pasteled up that I met in New Orleans. These people just suck. Maybe not all of them, but this guy fits the mold, that stereotype perfectly.
Too ugly to have that much confidence.
This will give Meatball his repulsion and how Rachel handles this will give Meatball the chance to rat. But before we get there, we should kind of zero in on him leaving the dog, because we're all animal lovers. You guys are dog guys. I'm a cat guy. I like dogs too, but if we had a dog, let's say Chewy, Spot, Dot, if they had a time limit, there would be no's to everything. Everything would be a no. Can't do that, can't do this. Pretty much, we're not traveling out of the country when your animal is dying.
Personal story.
Yeah.
My beloved dog Spot.
You had
19 years old.
Yep.
The few months he was gonna on his last leg.
Right.
Literally, the dog had one leg. And I was spending $1,000 a week,
yeah,
and it would usually be on a Saturday or Sunday just to keep him alive for one more week. And of course, these fucking vets out here, they'll do anything for money.
Yeah.
Say, oh yeah, I think we can get. He's dehydrated.
Yeah.
I go, what will that cost? Let me check. They come in and they hand you a piece of paper. They're like,
yeah.
Oh, there's 3 zeros behind that.
Yeah. You know what we could do for you? Rock'em Sock'em Robots? We can shove something up his spine, and you can have kind of controls. You can move his arms. Yeah.
So I'm in New York.
$15,000.
I'm in New York on business. It's supposed to be a 4-day trip. I'm in beautiful, Times Square.
Oh, beautiful Times Square.
This is before the zombies took over. This is like 4 years ago. I'm staying at the Edison. It's all paid for. I can go out and drink as much as I want every night. Hey, I'm in the booze business, right? Wife calls, says, I think this is probably it. Next morning, I found out the flight was going to cost $600. I did something I never, it's beneath me, but I had to fool my boss into paying for that ticket to fly me home.
Right.
And I got on that plane the next morning, and Saturday, I got home to him, spent the whole day with him. Sunday morning, he died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great relationship with your boss. I feel like if you were honest, they would have been fine with it. But
yeah, I feel like you.
Well, it was more like my co-worker making a big stink about me leaving New York early. I will not name names, but Dylan knows who this associate is.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We're in New York, man. You're going to blow this. Blow what?
That is so inside and so funny. Blow what? All right, so Tino interrupts them, and Rachel closes the book on this beautiful animal, and Grocer's Joe has just had enough. He speaks ill of Rachel once again, and now Meatball's just had enough. I mean, he pulls Rachel aside and say, hey, it says Grocer Joe's been saying that his ex had bigger tits than you, and that you guys were two fucking bitches, and rats never win, but no. I'm so happy that Meatball ratted.
Yeah, they're needed. They're needed.
Rachel confronts Grocer Joe, and he thinks that she's apologizing to him for the way she treated him and his Rambo, and when confronted, begins lying like a gentleman. He reminds me, like I said, just a lot of pastel douchebags, but she says that she really regrets dragging him along through this process and giving him another shot. And I was thinking, well, I mean, you said that if one more person rejected you, you would quit the show. So you needed to bring him along because he was the only sure bet. You had to do this.
He's like your Joker.
So he departs and says, I want Rambo more. Title of this episode, I think. He wishes that Rachel would find someone who treats her the way that Rambo treats him. Okay, so you can see it coming from a mile away when she stomps back onto the cruise ship and talks about the roller coaster. You just know that Logan is on his way to continue this game of whack-a-mole. There's only one mole in this game, though, and it's Rachel. They just keep hitting her over the head with shit. She's getting rejected. She's getting the loser group, the worst guys, and now Ugly Logan is going to tell her that he wants to switch teams. I mean, she is just taking a beating.
Sad.
But do we have to get to a rose ceremony?
Well, I guess we can. You've kind of covered it with that little getting ahead of yourself about that Logan thing. That was kind of the only fun part. Okay, here's a roll call. It's lame, though. All right, Gabby picks the bass player from Prince and the Revolution. Rach picks Evan, nice name. Gabby picks the Nick Viall wannabe. Rach picks Meatball. Gabby picks Johnny. Rach picks Zach. Gabby picks Michael. This is a lot of work for this fucking show.
Yeah.
Mario gets a rose for some reason, and then Rach gives Logan a rose, and as Dylan mentioned, that little weasel tries to puss out of it.
Yeah. I will say I like this little wrinkle they have of the guys walking in the room and you don't really know who's going to get picked next. Do this all the time. It makes it better, but this is the production of The Bachelor. This is a little thing that could make the show better. But what they do are expensive, but also cheap, ornate things that are just bizarre. That's the production of this show. It's just terrible. I kind of feel for Logan. You'd be an idiot to not accept Rachel's rose when she gives it to you. So I feel like we're going to go too far with making him the bad guy. He's got to sell Papa John's on Instagram. You know, 100%. He's just trying to survive, and so are we. We'll see you next week. Jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Leave 5 stars, kind words. We love you guys for doing that. Please do it. We love you for listening. Join us on patreon.com/another podcast network and Facebooks and YouTubes and all that stuff. We'll see you next week. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Later.
Pat, say goodbye.
Bye.